Real quick before the start of today's speed paint, I just wanted to let you know that customs of fallen leaves are currently available for a limited time only over on our Etsy shop. Don't miss out if you're interested in getting a custom of him. He is so cute. Check out the link down below.
Hello there and welcome back to another Forest of Secrets speed paint. In today's speed paint, I'm going to be reading the scene where Fireheart and Graystripe save Mistyfoot's kits from the river. I'll be reading this scene from pages 120 to 125 from Forest of Secrets to you now. Wait, he called. Did you hear that? Graystripe looked back, and both cats stood ears pricked, straining to catch the sound. Then Fireheart heard it again, the panic-stricken mewing of kits in distress. Where are they? He meowed, looking all around and up into the trees. I can't see them. There! Graystripe flicked his tail in the direction of Sunning Rocks. Fireheart, they'll drown! Fireheart saw that the current had driven a mat of twigs and debris up against the Sunning Rocks. Two kits balanced precariously on it, their tiny mouths stretched wide as they wailed for help. Even as Fireheart watched, the current tugged at the mat, threatening to sweep it away. Come on! He yelled to Graystripe. We've got to reach them somehow! Taking a deep breath, he waded into the flood. The water soaked into his fur at once, and a paralyzing icy chill crept up his legs. The tug of the current made it harder to stay on his paws. With every step he took, Graystripe splashed in behind him. But when the water reached his belly fur, he stopped. Fireheart! He choked out. Fireheart twisted around and gave him a comforting nod. He could understand how the river might terrify Graystripe after his near drowning a few moons ago. Stay there, he meowed. I'll try to push them out over to you. Graystripe nodded, trembling too violently to speak. Fireheart waded forward a few more paces, and then launched himself into the current and began to swim, thrashing his legs instinctively to push himself through the black water. They were upstream of the Sunning Rocks. If StarClan was kind, he should be carried down towards the kits. For a moment, he lost sight of them in the wind-ruffled waves, though he could still hear their terrified cries. Then the smooth gray bulk of Sunning Rocks loomed up beside him. He kicked out strongly, fearing for one panic-stricken heartbeat that he would be swept right past. The current swirled. Fireheart's paws worked furiously, and the river tossed him against the rock. Driving the breath out of his body, he scrambled at the rough surface, bracing himself against the rushing water, and found himself face to face with the two kits. They were both very small, probably still suckling from their mother, Fireheart guessed. One was black and one was gray, their fur plastered against their tiny bodies, and their brilliant blue eyes wide with terror. They were crouched on a tangle of mat of twigs, leaves, and two-leg rubbish. But when they saw Fireheart, they started to scramble towards him. The mat lurched, and their wails grew louder as the river water sloshed over them. Keep still! Fireheart gasped, paddling madly against the current. Briefly, he wondered if he could climb onto the rock and haul the kits up with him. But he was not sure how long it would be before Sunning Rocks was completely submerged. Looking back, he saw that his friend had already moved downstream, into a good position to catch the mat as it was swept towards him. Here we go, Fireheart muttered. StarClan, help us! He pushed himself off the rock, thrusting the mat with his muzzle to guide it into the current. The two kits whimpered and flattened themselves against the twigs. Fireheart put every last scrap of energy into pushing the mat ahead of him with his nose and paws. He could feel exhaustion draining the strength from his limbs. His fur was soaked, and he was so cold that he could hardly breathe. Raising his head and blinking water out of his eyes, he realized with horror that he had lost sight of Graystripe and the bank. It seemed as if there was nothing in the world but the churning water and the fragile mat of twigs, and the two terrified kits. Then he heard Graystripe's voice, sounding close by. Fireheart! Fireheart, here! Fireheart moved again against the mat, trying to propel it towards the voice. It spun away from him, and his head went under. Coughing and choking, he clawed his way back up to the surface, to see Graystripe pacing on dry land just a few tail lengths away. For a heartbeat, Fireheart felt relief, as he was nearly there. And then, he focused his blurry eyes on the kits again, and fear pulsed through him. The mat was beginning to break up. Fireheart watched helplessly as the twigs underneath the gray kit gave way, and the tiny creature was plunged into the torrent. No! Graystripe yelled, launching himself after the drowning kit. Fireheart lost sight of them. The kit left on the mat squealed desperately, trying to cling to the twigs as they were split apart by the current. With the last of his strength, Fireheart drove himself forward and sank his teeth into the little creature's scruff, and kicked out for dry ground. Within moments, he felt stones under his paws and managed to stand. Stone-limbed with weariness, he staggered out and dropped the black kid onto the grass at the edge of the flood. Its eyes were closed, and he was not even sure that it was still alive. Glancing downstream, he saw Graystripe splashing out of the shallows, with the gray kit gripped firmly in his teeth. He padded up to Fireheart and set it gently on the ground. Fireheart nosed both kits. They were laying very still. When Fireheart looked closer, he could see the faint rise and fall of their flanks as they breathed. "Thanks, StarClan. They're alive!" exclaimed Graystripe, his voice filled with relief. "Yes, but they won't live long without their mother," Fireheart pointed out. He sniffed the black kit carefully. The river had washed off much of the clan's scent, but he could still detect a faint trace. "River Clan," he meowed, unsurprised. "We'll have to take them home." Alright, and that's where I'm going to be stopping the reading. I'm really excited to someday get to the point of filming this episode. This is going to fall within episode 12 of Forest of Secrets for our series, for the saving of the kits. And I'm excited for you guys to see the changes that we've made from the books, to make that scene come to life. The really tragic thing about this scene is that even though these kits were saved by Graystripe and Fireheart, out of Mistyfoot's 4 kits, only one survives until adulthood, Reed Kit. And I'm not exactly sure which kits were in this scene, the Gray Kit and the Black Kit, but there was Perch Kit, Pike Kit, Primrose Kit, and Reed Kit that were Mistyfoot's kits. And out of those, only Reed Kit makes it to adulthood. So in our episodes, we're trying to give a little bit more personality and names to those kits. So, to shine more spotlight on all 4 kits, we decided for it not just to be 2 kits that are on the little river mat, but for it to be all 4 of Mistyfoot's kits. And you can see from the artwork they've all got really adorable designs. I hope you guys liked the artwork and enjoyed watching today's speed paint. I'd like to say a quick thanks to the members of Early Clan. Your support means so much. Thanks so much for watching this video all the way until the end. I'll see you guys soon with the next speed paint. Until then, bye-bye!